Oh, yeah. Cheers it up. Cheers it up, boys.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I push the wrong button?
Come on, man. Get it together, Tom.
What's my password?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Password.
All right, one more.
One more. Cheers.
There we go.
All right, everybody. Hey, this is Dave and Tom coming at you with the BlabberMalt Show, episode 113, August 18th, 2025. We're super excited to be here.
Here, where are we?
Well, we are local tonight. This is the shortest drive for a BlabberMalt Show we've had in a while. For me and Tom, it's exciting because it's local for us. It's one of our local breweries, Laughing Bomb. We're here with Zach. Thanks so much for hosting us tonight.
Cheers.
We got our pre-show beers here. Got the hazy IPA.
Hazy for me as well, and you've got the lager?
I've got the Lake Lager, yes.
Super tasty. So if you guys don't know, we do a show live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're out and about at a local brewery, beer vendor, restaurant, beer bar, somewhere cool. Or we're down in the BlabberMalt headquarters doing a show with someone having to do with the craft brewery scene in Northeast Ohio. We also cross-post Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News. That's really the only place to get your craft brewery news in this area. Am I right?
Yeah, and like you said, any place that we can get beer, talk about brewing, or some bull crap about beer and brewing, we'll be there.
A lot of bull crap. Yeah, we do like to talk about the bull crap. The BlabberMalt Show, Facebook, YouTube. We're at BlabberMalt, Instagram, Threads, and X. So look for us there. You can find all those details in the Beacons link in the description. And follow us, like, subscribe. It helps the algorithm tell people that some cool stuff's going on here, and share it with your friends.
And if they want to find Laughing Bomb, where can they find you guys on media?
We are on the John Christ Winery on all the social handles, and then Laughing Bomb on all of our social as well.
Yeah.
And I guess, we'll kind of point that out as, we are talking about being at a brewery and talking with Zek, who is the brewer here. They're also a winery. So John Christ Winery in Avon Lake, they kind of took that over. You guys have kept some of the traditional stuff, but also expanded with the Laughing Bomb brand with some different styles of wine, as well as your beers. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. So we purchased the John Christ Winery. You've got both of them. And it's very much a little family operation. My wife works here as long as my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and aunt. So, yeah, it's...
You have aunts?
We do. Not that kind. But, yeah, we're in Avon Lake, right on Walker Road, right off of the Legacy Golf Course here.
Yeah, cool. It's super close for us. That's why we love it. Come up here, get some beer, local.
And we've
I was just going to say, so Zach's been on before. I looked back in the archives, listened to the episode 75. It was September 10th of last year. You were in studio.
Almost a year ago.
It was almost a year ago. Talked about, how you got into brewing, but we kind of want to recap that a little bit, your pedigree, how you got into brewing, and then get into this location and how you found it and became the proud owners. So,
yeah, for sure. So, all right. So when I got started in brewing, I was a home brewer with the local Snobs Club, was in college, went to school, got a degree in microbiology, and did a little minor in the fermentation and food science. Was really looking at getting into the beer industry, and Matt Cole at Fatheads was looking to have a quality control department. So I took over their lab and started running their quality control there.
to be honest, it was a closet, right?
It was a closet, yes. So you would not be impressed with the original Sheldon Road lab. It was a closet. We put a little bit of state-of-art equipment right behind a small closet door. And we did a lot of really good stuff out of that old brewery there. And it's now the Brew Kettle that acquired that. But so that's where I got my start. And then we built the new location in Middleburg Heights, and that's when the lab got the full upgrade. And now everybody's behind glass, and you can walk through the tour.
And see it. Yeah, the tour you can see the people in the
Yep.
quality.
So
right.
ran that lab for about a year and a half under the new facility, and
Okay.
you know, it's fun sitting there at 7 o'clock at night when everybody's drinking their beer and they're sitting there watching you, and you're doing qPCR and dropping everything in. So it is a cool tour if you've never been to that one at the Middleburg site.
Now, at that time, you were still home brewing and doing the quality control, but you were not doing any brewing for Fatheads themselves on their system, or were you doing some stuff?
Not too often. I would brew every now and then when somebody would call in sick and stuff like that. But more or less was recipe development and quality control and all the lab. So worked on a lot of recipes there. That was the main focus, was the R&D. So when we got the new Middleburg location up and running, that little R&D pilot system in there is an awesome little system. So.
And then you were still brewing at home at that time?
Yep.
And what kind of system were you brewing on at home?
Just a little homemade system, a kegel, just cut up kegel, and just it was fun. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Just kind of like everybody got started. It was my first system when I was in college, and you know, once you get a system dialed in, and you really get to really kind of true your numbers up. I never really needed to change it. I made some pretty good beer on that. So when I left Fatheads, then I went down to Saucy Brewworks. They were having some quality control issues down there, so I took over and ran their brewery for a couple years. And right at the time that I was looking at starting my own place, John Christ Winery announced that they were closing. And so that's when we showed up, and I was one of the first people here saying, hang on, don't close down. We'll buy the winery, we'll get it up and running. We're going to put a full brewery and restaurant in. And so that's kind of where we're at. A year later is, you know, we're growing through our expansion project, and just wanted to get through this summer. Now that we're almost at the end of the summer and beginning November, we're going to start construction, and we're going to add on to the building, put a full kitchen in here. Right now we have a food truck. We have a full menu on site, and we make everything in a food truck. So.
And how long have you guys been open as a brewery?
About a year now, a little bit over a year. So.
I think we should get into this flight because we got quite a few beers here.
Yeah, so should we start with?
Yeah. So the Lake Lager. This was one of our first beers. It's brewed in the lake for the lake. So this uses Montana base malt. Actually, I think I have my Montana hat on also. I love Montana malt. This is just a really traditional American light lager. The idea behind this was that it was an approachable first beer for a lot of our consumers that are coming in. There was never a brewery in Avon Lake, and we brew this beer for the lake. And what we mean by that is we donate proceeds from this beer to the Avon Lake parks, and they are actually building a new park down the street, and the proceeds of this go to that.
Oh, that's very cool.
Nice.
It's really, you know, really about supporting the local community.
And I'm assuming maybe 4.5%, 5%. Is this a
Yeah, this is a 4.5.
4.5?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Very nice. Very, very clean, very crisp.
yeah, thank you.
While on the lake or by the lake, yes.
Exactly.
Now, I mean, I will ask, from your original homebrew days, are any of the beers that we have in front of us either started with something you brewed at home before, or are these all unique beers, or something spread from your early beers?
The Lake Lager and the Pumpkin Beer are both homebrew beers that were recipes from when I first got started. The Pumpkin Beer, once we get into that, is actually a Belgian Golden Strong Ale. And I call it a little bit of pumpkin because we don't overdo the pumpkin in it. It's lightly spiced. It's a very approachable Belgian Strong Ale. And it comes in at 9.2, and you would not know it because it is a very deceivingly smooth beer.
Yeah, I think we had that last year at our pumpkin tasting.
Yeah, I mean, we're like
I remember picking up a
almost
growler
a year.
and bringing
Yeah.
it over. Yes.
Yeah, I like this. Now, when you made this as a homebrew, was it this light, this good? Did you have your water chemistry?
It was this light. I was using Vireman back then.
Yeah.
I've switched it to the Montana malt. I'm just a big fan of what the Montana malt industry has actually been producing lately. So,
Because as a home brewer, it's tough to make something like this.
yes.
People think, oh, light lager, it's the easiest beer in the world. It's really not, because you can't hide anything.
Yeah, and from a quality control standpoint, if you can make a light lager that is clean and crushable, you're doing everything right. The imperfections showed through so easy in a light beer like this. If you had any kind of infections, if you had any kind of poor standards or procedures, it would be one of the first beers you would taste it in.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously you do your own quality control here for yourself.
Oh yes, and we drink a lot of beer too. So
Yeah.
So I mean, again, not being a home brewer. So tell me about this Montana. So this is a craft malt. So that is a company. Is it out in Montana that you're buying supplies from?
Yep. So locally here, they're actually distributed by LD Carlson. So if you're looking for it, if you're looking for it, LD Carlson has it. They do sell it for home brewers as well. I know a lot of local breweries are using it. Fatheads uses it. Zoe at North Olmsted loves it. He's the head brewer at the North Olmsted Fatheads. But it's one of those, started as a small mom and pop craft maltster and have really upped their game in the last 10 years. They've I want to say they brought on, and I said 15 additional farmers, and it's really growing into something special. So.
Some random dude. So yeah, go back. I don't remember the episode, but we had Mike from LD Carlson on. He was talking about all the malts they have.
That was 5 or 6 episodes ago. It was recent.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool episode because we haven't really talked to anybody on the distribution side. We've talked to some homebrew shops for homebrewers, but not really industrial scale. So that was pretty interesting for me. Check it out. You might find it interesting too.
So how big is the brew house that you have here right now then?
So right now we are contract brewing all of these. We're brewing them at 3 different breweries in Northeast Ohio, and we're installing a 10-barrel system next week. So it's thank you. It's taken us a year to get to this point, and we're very excited to have everything produced on site here within the next month and a half. So.
That is exciting. 10 barrels. Wow, cool.
Yep.
Very good, very good. So now when you walk us through, there was a kind of an interesting story how you found this site and acquired it. You had looked at a bunch of different sites, but I think it's interesting.
You were looking at
that
Avon,
story.
Avon itself at one point, right?
Yes, yeah, we were looking at Avon. So long story short is when my wife and I decided that we wanted to start a brewery, we wanted it to be a brewery and restaurant, and we knew that. And we started running demographics. We really wanted to be on the west side of Cleveland, and we just weren't sure where. And that's when Avon and Avon Lake were really a hotbed for everything that we wanted, from the local community to how we could help influence it and work with the cities. So we wanted to be out here, we just weren't sure where. And it's very hard to find a building that you can put a craft brewery in. And the one thing that was very nice and appealing about this place was that the infrastructure was already here from the existing winery. John Christ has been in business since 1946. They already had the full wine cellar in the back, so there wasn't a ton that we had to do to the building when we first got it. So with that being said, we were looking a little bit all over Avon, but Avon Lake was really reaching out and really wanted us to be here. And it just happened to be that the winery was closing around that same point in time.
Interesting, yeah.
When we got the keys to the winery, we were working through a deal that was just kind of, let's get the place open, let's get it running so we don't lose our liquor license and we don't lose our wine permits and everything. So we actually had a turnkey operation from the wine standpoint that we were able to get keys and have the building up and running within about 2.5 weeks. From
That's
that,
awesome.
We acquired a lot of wine. I was bringing in juice from California. We were bringing in a lot of raw juice from the islands here in Ohio, and that's what kind of got our winery up and going.
Okay. And I imagine a lot of your experience with quality control kind of carries over into winemaking as well. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the one nice thing is, and I love wine. Wine is an easier fermented beverage to produce. When it comes to craft beer, you have to control every single aspect of it. And
True.
wine is technical, but craft beer is definitely a lot more scientific.
Yeah. The good thing about beer is it's a shorter time period. If you screwed up, you're going to know a lot sooner.
Yes.
With a wine, you got to wait.
I have wines that we've got back there that are about 1.5 years, almost 2 years old right now from when we first got keys and got everything going. Adeline is named after my youngest daughter here. That's a bourbon barrel-aged cab sauv.
Oh, yeah.
We get the juice from that from California. We ferment it on site. I then age it in River Roots bourbon barrels. I do single barrel selects from Tom Gray and the good guys down there at River Roots. And every batch of Adeline is a little different depending on which barrels it's going into. So
That's cool, though.
yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. So
I'm running into the second beer here.
All right.
oh, okay, let's. Is this the red?
Yes, so the second one is our Bullseye Red. This is a twist on a Irish red ale. And what we did on that is we actually wanted it to be an American red ale, and we use all American hops out of Yakima Valley in that. It's mildly hopped, but you get that citrus notes. We use a lot of Chinook, Centennial, and Citra in it, and those really come through.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
is
that's very nice.
If I were to ask between an Irish red and American red, you just kind of explain that you want to get that citrusy more than the malt.
Yeah,
So an Irish General more malty.
And the malts come through in it, but we definitely wanted to use more of the, I don't want to call it a red IPA or anything because it's not that bitter. This one rings in at about 35 to 38 IBUs. It's just got enough of that hop bitterness to kind of bounce it out and give it that citrus spike that you get from some of those awesome Yakima Valley hops.
It definitely does have a little more of a hop flavor than some other.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it pushes it out of the red ale category. That's very
Is
nice.
this a little bit high? Is 5.5, 6?
This is 5.6.
5.6.
Nice. So, since you acquired this place, what is kind of the vibe that you want people to feel when they come in here, and what are some of the things you do to try to curate that and present this tap room the way you want it?
Yeah, for sure. So one of our big things was we wanted to have a family-friendly environment. We knew that we wanted it to be a place that families can come, they can spend their evenings. There's something for everybody to do. So not only do we have the wine side and the craft beer, my wife curates a ton of really good high-end cocktails. Our espresso martini is one of our #1 selling cocktails right now. But on top of that, we wanted it to be something for everyone. So outside we have 5.5 acres. We have a very large patio. We have a couple of chests out there full of toys for kids. We've got soccer balls and kickballs and wiffle ball bats. With that in mind, on every Friday night we put up a big 26-foot inflatable projection screen. We have movie night in the vineyards. Last Friday we had The Sandlot playing. This coming up Friday we have Frozen. So it's always just something for the kids to do. On Friday night we had 44 kids out there eating popcorn and watching movies while everybody else was sitting around and just watching them. And it's very much that family atmosphere. And then with that being said, we donate a ton back to the local community. So we're very charity driven. My wife has a Sip and Shop Market every Sunday, the last Sunday of the month. And she has about 20 to 25 vendors that come up and set up arts and crafts and do all kinds of fun stuff. And when they're here, we charge them a fee to be here. And we take 100% of that fee and we donate it to a charity, and it's a different charity every month. So we do Gigi's Playhouse, which is the Down syndrome in Lakewood Center. And then last one we donated to the 3 officers in Lorraine after everything that had happened there. So every single month is a different charity. So our thing's really local community and giving back as much as we can and having somewhere for families to come spend their time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fun. Now, when you're doing movie nights, how is the neighborhood as far as the the sound projection? Do you have any issues with that? Everybody's pretty good with it.
It's real good because we're on 5.5 acres on a golf course, and so we don't have a ton of complaints from anybody around here because most of them are riding their bicycles or walking up, and they're bringing lawn chairs and sitting out there and watching. So
Yeah, that's cool.
Best way to keep the complaints down is invite the people. Invite your neighbors.
Invite your neighbors and play good movies. Yeah.
That's really neat. I know I've been out here a couple times. I saw the sip and a lot of the vendors up and stuff. It was very, very crowded. It's neat. And you did mention you guys have a full kitchen, so you guys do offer food.
Yep. I think our wings are our best seller. Our wings and our burgers right now are our best sellers. But we have something for everybody. We've got salads and chicken sandwiches and a ton of appetizers as well.
Now, when the kitchen goes in, are you going to do kind of the same stuff, or are you going to expand the menu a little bit? Do you have some aspirations?
Yeah, so we're going to expand the menu. We're going with a fresh farm-to-table concept with our kitchen. And an idea behind that is I have one of my cousins owns a farm outside of Mansfield, Ohio, and he raises all of his own pork and all of his own beef. And so he's taking our spent grains, feeding his cattle, and then in turn we're getting it from his butcher. And it's a real, hey, it's Laughing Bomb Brewery, and it's also Laughing Bomb beef, Laughing Bomb pork. So really kind of diving into that whole fresh farm-to-table aspect with our kitchen.
That's actually a very neat concept to be able to say it's your...
Yeah, we fatten them up with our spent grain, and
Yeah.
then we eat them.
Beer all the way through.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm liking this beer.
Thank you. We asked some of our brewers that we interview. I mean, are you right now a brewer full time, or are you still another full time job going at the moment?
This is my only job, but I do a little bit of everything. I'd like to say I'm a master at brewing, but I'm not. It's one of those things where you have to be in accounting and finance and HR, so it's very much
Marketing, social media,
yes.
blah.
So,
Yeah.
luckily, my wife does all of our marketing. She kills it on all of our social medias. We host a lot of events here. She does all of our event coordinating. But yeah, it's jack of all trades.
That's nice. And
Master of them all, right?
I wish. I wish. There's some days it's like anything. You wake up and you're like, man, I could do something. I could do this better. I could do that better. And I think I'm my own worst critic. One thing I'll say is I definitely learned from Matt Cole when I was there at Fatheads, and he never wanted to be called a brewmaster or anything because we're always striving to learn. We're always trying. I try to learn something new every day, and that's it goes across the board for everything. So
Well, I mean, if you're not striving, you're just kind of stagnant, and you start slipping. So, all right, low visibility. Is that the hazy we got here?
That is the
Okay,
hazy.
yeah.
I was trying to come up with a good name for a hazy IPA, and we were kind of sitting around and we were drinking our first test trial batch of it, and we couldn't come up with a good name, and we looked at it and go, well, it's hazy. It was like nothing fits the bomb theme more than low visibility. So our artwork and our graphics for it are the bomb kind of going over a fog-covered hop field, and it's just low visibility. This is made with Yakima hops as well. This one is Citra, Mosaic, and what's it called? Motu Echo.
Have you used that Crush hop?
Which one?
Crush with the K?
I have not yet.
Okay. Just wondering, because it's kind of in the pineapple-y,
Yes.
mango-y kind of
Yeah,
realm anyway.
this definitely comes through as a very pineapple mango.
now, do you generally keep about 4 or 5 of your beers on tap?
Right now we have 4 on. We will, starting next week, we're expanding our draft lines to 10. So we'll have 10 draft lines next week. I just had a cooler put in the cellar. Been running those lines all this week. When that is up and running, we plan on having 8 of our beers on at all points in time, and then 2 guest handles. And then with the expansion project starting next year, we're going to put in another draft system as well.
So you said the new system is going in. Is that going to be commissioned, ready to go in the next couple weeks, or?
We're hoping to have it fired up and running some water through it in about 3 to 4 weeks.
Nice.
So
what's the first brew?
the first brew is going to be water.
What's the second
Very
brew?
hot water.
So the second brew on it is actually something that we've been talking about and targeting is going to be a real traditional German Hefeweizen. It's one of my favorite styles. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for our first in-house brew, and I loved what we did at Fatheads for so long with our Alpenglow and the Goggle Fogger, and that style is just so, the yeast plays everything in that beer. And my background, we joked around there for a bit as like a yeast wrangler, was on my business card for a little bit. And so I think it's just a fitting style for us as we commission our system. That's going to be our first beer coming out.
I mean, I love Headhunter, but I would probably say Alpenglow is probably my second favorite from Fatheads. That is such a great beer.
It's won a lot of gold medals.
Wow. Yeah. Well, justifiably so.
Are you guys, again, down the road thinking of getting into any distribution? Well, can you get these stuff in cans potentially here at your place?
Yeah, so what we've been partnering with and setting up right now is Ironheart Canning, the mobile canning company. So I've known BJ and that crew. Actually, I worked with them for about a year as just a part-time job to really. We were looking at getting our own place going, and I really wanted to dive in and see how they ran their operation and what they did. When BJ got going at Fatheads was one of his first big contracts that I was involved in. They did all the trailhead cans. So we didn't have a canning line at Fatheads. We were running everything on the bottling line. And at that point in time, it was called Buckeye Canning, and it was Buckeye Mobile Canning. Yep. And Dan Blatt from Ghost Tree was part of it. BJ was part of it. They had a good group of guys there. And they came in, and we were the first brewery to really hook up our Orbisphere and start reading their dissolved oxygen levels and start running ATP swabs on all of their equipment and saying, hang on a second, let's go back, let's revisit this. What are we doing here? Why are our dissolved oxygen levels so high in these cans? And so really put a challenge to them to improve their processes. And they have significantly, just like most craft beer over the years, have really evolved, and they create a superior product now. They're able to push these canning lines into the tightest areas. I saw them canning at Great Lakes on a staircase. So, these guys are true craftsmen at what they do. And so we'll be bringing them in here, and they'll do all of our canning until we really get to the point with our self-distribution that we think it's feasible to install our own canning line. So, but yeah, we will be self-distributing. We will be hitting grocery stores. We'll be putting our beers in a lot of other craft breweries here, just from friends in the industry. So,
yeah, we should get those guys on the show, Iron Horse. I think that'd be really interesting.
I had the opportunity to.
I can put you guys together. Yeah,
when they did the Christmas Miracle one time for Avon Brewing. Not how tight that space is at the Avon Brewing.
Yeah, was that with Iron Horse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ironheart.
Ironheart. What am I talking about? Yeah.
I'll extend the invitation when we have them come in and can for us. If you guys would like to come and just do a pop-up show, we could do something like that. I'm sure they'd love it.
Yes.
I mean, watching them do it, level it, I mean, it's a science. They sit there. It takes them longer to set up than the actual can.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Now, do they give you specifications? Okay, we want carbonation at this low. We want it at this temperature.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like any packaging line, they won't hook up to your tank and package a product that's not going to come out within their specs. Yeah. So they say, hey, here's what we want. Here's how our canning line can handle. They have their ranges for your CO2. You're going to get too many low fills, too much pour over, everything. So yeah, they're very good at what they do.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting to me. Just doing homebrew, I can finally do, oxygen-free transfers, but it's just to take 2 kegs.
And that's part of the reason I want to bring Ironheart in is it's this, financially for us, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but the product is far superior, and that's what we really care about. Cartridge Brewing Company down in Cincinnati, for example, I've been down there many times. I've ran their canning line. They had one of the American Canning single head little canning lines. Very awesome little thing. It can do a case a minute. It was cool, but your oxygen pickup was so high. The CIP and the sanitation on it were very difficult. You'd always ATP swab it. So if you're ATP swabbing, you're getting these high bacteria numbers. You're re-cleaning it. When we sat down and we looked at what we were doing here, I was like, that's not a headache that I want to have to deal with. I would rather bring in the experts and have them come in and do it. And that, even though we pay more money for it, we're going to get a far superior product.
Yeah, better shelf life,
yeah,
just
sure.
Better experience for the consumer.
I mean, yeah, you're reaching out to a whole other group of people, and you don't want to put something out there that's going to give somebody a bad first taste.
Yeah, and that's one of our biggest things is that I know, being in the industry for as long as that I have, there's going to be somebody that's going to have your product, and that's going to be the only time they have it. And that first impression is going to make or break your business. And, we have a ton of people that are coming up here, and it's extremely busy, and they're going to have one beer. And if that beer is not up to our quality product, they're not coming back. So,
yeah, it's very true.
So, what is your best-selling beer that you've had so far? So you've been a little over a year now.
Yep.
I'm sure you keep some stats, maybe even a spreadsheet. But what is your most popular selling beer that you guys have produced?
So I'm a very analytically driven person. When I say that, I run numbers every single day, just out of curiosity to see what's selling, and we tweak our kitchen menu almost every 2 to 3 weeks based off of seasonal, rotation and what's happening and what is moving and what's not moving. So when it comes to beer, Lake Lager is by far our best-selling beer. It's a light American lager. It's very approachable. We sell almost 2 times that compared to anything else.
Wow.
So.
And now the fun question, though. What is your favorite beer to brew?
My favorite beer to brew is actually sour beers. And that comes from the microbiology background that I have. I enjoy brewing sour beers. And when I say that, it's not so much the brewing side of it as it is the inoculating, putting them in barrels, having the oak foeders running, testing the oak foeders and seeing what kind of different species of Brett, what kind of lacto I've got in there, and really diving in on that. So
the true science experiment.
When I said I've got a lot of stuff in the basement and the cellar aging, we've got a couple barrels of French oak foeders down there that have some very good sour beer that we'll be releasing soon. So,
now, you gonna have any of those been released yet?
Not yet. So we're working on getting those all ready. They're almost where I want them. I joke around every now and then. I say I kind of wanted to call this place the Palace of Fermentation. I love all things fermented. when we're doing our bratwurst, we make all of our own sauerkraut in-house. I've got a ton of pickles fermenting in the basement. If it ferments, I like it.
So when they do come out, what format are they going to be in a 750 or a double deuce?
We're looking for more like bombers. So it's probably going to be 750s. We might scale it down a little, but haven't quite decided on any of that. We just started mocking up some artwork. So
okay. Cork, so you're going to cage them?
Yep, cork and cage. Yep.
Well, that's kind of cool because you already have the equipment, being a winery.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right. This is the little bit of pumpkin that you talked about. So this is a Belgian.
Yes, so this is a Belgian strong ale, Belgian golden strong ale. Like I said, it's going to be very deceiving. It's 9.2%. I use about ends up being about 2.5 pounds of pie pumpkins per barrel in this recipe. And then it's mildly spiced with nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. I'm not a big fan of those super spicy pumpkin beers. I don't want to feel like I'm drinking potpourri. And so when we did this and we had our first test trial batch done, we all kind of sat down and drank it, and actually my father-in-law was one of them that was like, well, there's not a lot of pumpkin in this. I said, exactly. I said, you know what? Little bit of pumpkin. And that's kind of where the name started to come from, was little bit of pumpkin, because we didn't want to overdo it.
I would definitely say it's more just like a good Belgian strong ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ginger is kind of just a little bit mingling with the hops as far as the hot,
again,
not really hotness. But
I think that's a underrated style. Some of the Belgian strongs, I think of Unibrow and a couple other breweries that make some really good Belgian strong ales that I enjoy.
So I actually went to Siebel Institute up in Montreal, and when we were up there, we did the full tour of Unibrow and then got to work in their lab for 3 days. And it was really cool seeing some of their projects that they work on out of that brewery. They have some very interesting stuff. It was a cool experience. And
I smuggle some plates out.
Yeah. I will say that one of the big things that I always like to do when we talk to people is kind of get their ideal blend on some of these sour beer projects that they do, or some of these cool one-off beers. And it's not just their pitching ratio, but what strain of yeast are they using, where are they getting that from, how are they oxygenating it on knockout, and just really the entire process of fermentation for it. So
yeah, that's nice. I like that.
So I mean, we've got a couple bottles in front of us of wine here, so let's talk about it.
Yeah,
so
let's dive into
we're
that.
Laughing Bomb Brewery, but also a winery. Tell us a little bit about what we have here and your whole wine process. I'm assuming it's right now in the same areas where you will be doing your brewing, so it's one.
So we actually have a full cellar here. It goes underneath the basement, and our full cellar, we are moving all the wine production to that, and then the back end of the building is where all the brewing for the beer will be at. So, and in that cellar, we have about half the space dedicated to the wine production, and half of it dedicated to sour beer production, foeders, and raw oak. Right here is one of our newest releases. It's a Pinot Noir, and that is one of the first ones under the Laughing Bomb brand that wasn't made for our daughters. That came out actually a week and a half ago. And so far we've gotten a lot of really good feedback on it. That is a California juice that we brought up and did everything in-house. And then on the right-hand side over here were our first 2 ever releases. And the bottle right there is for my youngest daughter, Adeline. And she's bold and spicy and full of character. So we did a American Cab Sauv aged in bourbon barrels. And this is actually the 5th release of this.
I was gonna say, and this was the one that we did try on our show back in September.
Correct.
We brought this. The barrel aging on it is phenomenal.
Yes. So the first one that you guys had was a 10-year Heaven Hill barrel. This one is a 14-year Beam barrel. The one before that was a 8-year Weller. So it's one of those things where we are always trying to source very unique barrels, and every batch release is going to be a little different. And it's one of those things where it's always evolving. The one right there is our oldest daughter. Her name is Gracie Rose. So we did Gracie's Rosé, and Gracie's Rosé is sweet and bubbly, and that just fits my oldest daughter perfectly. So pink is her favorite color, and when we sat down and we talked about doing wines for the 2 girls, we hope that someday they take over the family business. And the idea behind it was, let's really try to take their personalities and create something that reflects who they are. And with Gracie, she loves pink, and she's bubbly and just full of joy and sweet, and so she got the Gracie's Rosé. We do serve that in a flight, and we actually do serve it as a mimosa flight if you would like as well. And so the mimosa flight will have pineapple juice, mango juice, OJ, cranberry. We do a rotating fruit blend with it. So,
and those of us that are maybe a little bit older and remember some of the Ohio wines, especially up here north, that the Concord grape and the little more sweet, not necessarily what you find in California, but you find up in Ohio. You guys are still carrying a little bit of that John Christ?
Yes. So John Christ Winery was in business since 1946. Just a real quick backstory on John Christ was an immigrant from Macedonia. When he came to America, he actually tended to the Welch's grape vineyards. And Welch's grape juice is primarily Concord. And I'm not going to say that he was probably taking that home and making wine, but obviously he started a winery. So what I will say is that we haven't changed any of their recipes. We do have the original Ohio sweet wines. We're keeping those all the same. They still have the John Christ labels on them. Our number 1 sellers are our special blend. It's a sweet Concord Niagara blend. Number 2 is our blackberry and then peach. So we do have some very sweet wines for those people that do drink that. What I will say is that when we got the winery, we were about a little bit over 90% of the wine sold here were sweet Ohio wine, and that has dropped down to we're about 62% in sales of sweet Ohio wine, and the rest is all dry. Cabernets, bourbon barrel aged, Pinot Noirs, all of those. And the last 3 months, our number 1 seller is actually our bourbon barrel aged cab. That has been outselling everything, which is the first time that's happened. So.
Helping expand the palate of Northeast Ohio. It's a good thing.
Exactly.
And I'm sure some of those sweet ones are good for slushies. I see the slushie machines back there, too.
Yeah, cranking away.
So I have a friend that owns a winery out in New York, and when we were looking at this, I asked him for some advice. He used to be a brewer with me. Now he runs his own winery. And his first thing was, get a slushie machine. I said, I have one. He said, get another one. So I actually did. I have four slushie machines now. And we do a ton of slushies. Our slushies, we run blackberry and peach in them year-round, and then our other slushie machines will run mixed cocktails in. So frozen margaritas, vodka cranberries, just something fun and seasonal for everyone. For St. Patty's Day, we did a boozy shamrock shake. It's always something different.
Yeah. I think it's good, a testament to the quality of your wines that your California barrel aged are picking up in sales. My question is, do you think your daughters are going to be one day like, Dad, I'm not that spicy, and I'm not.
Will they be upset of your choice in the description of their...
I would agree with that, but my 4-year-old came home from daycare with a note the other day that says, when I grow up, I want to make beer and wine with my dad. And I said, okay, don't tell your teacher that. It's like, let's wait a little bit. But the girls are up here all the time. Like I said, we really try to have that whole family-focused thing here. And so my daughters are here 90% of the time that we're up here during the day. So.
Yeah.
Great.
You have to be, because you're busy getting work done.
That is true.
All right, should we get to the boil?
Yeah, let's do the boil. You have the sound effect. So, homebrew happenings. I put together a recipe for a coconut cream ale. It's supposed to be earlier in the summer, but pumpkin beers are coming out, so I'm going to have a coconut cream ale come out. Actually, Alex over here, can't see him, he's off camera. He wants to do a brew day with me, get into brewing, so probably this Thursday or Friday we're going to brew up coconut cream ale. So
now I heard you might do a batch of regular, or is it all going to be coconut? Just as
I've been given a talking to, and it has to all be coconut.
All right.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see. I'm not a huge fan of coconut, but if coconut done right in a beer, I can do it all right.
Well,
so I guess I'll judge.
I could siphon off
no.
half a sixth.
Don't do anything special.
A 12th.
12th.
So I do have to ask, how do you do your coconut?
Well, put like a pound in the boil, and then I'll put a pound in a muslin bag this time in the secondary.
Okay. Are you doing raw, toasted?
I do the chips.
Chips? Okay.
Yeah, I made the mistake of putting the flakes just in the fermenter, and I do have a CIP ball, and it was like coconut came out of that thing forever.
Yes.
Yeah. So. The other note I was going to say, I discovered when I was ordering my ingredients that the Cleveland Brew Shop has moved. They moved. They're on St. Clair, just kind of around and down the corner from Goldhorn. Goldhorn is like on
East 55th. Yeah.
Go up to St. Clair, head back west. It's on the north side, about 4 or 5 blocks.
And that's the one that used to be right on Lorraine Road there?
It used to be right across from Platform when the Platform was there. So,
all right.
Platform's gone, Cleveland Brew Shop's gone. I have no reason to go down there anymore. So, I don't know. So, Pro Brew happenings. What's going on this coming week, this coming month for Laughing Bomb?
Okay. So, we have Labor Day weekend coming up, which is our largest weekend. We do a in memory of Jimmy Buffett weekend, and that starts on Friday, and that runs live music from 7 to 10, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cover bands. And Sunday's musician is Tom Todd, and he plays in Cheeseburgers in Paradise cover band. They play up at the Islands a lot, and so very good, very high-quality music all weekend. We're starting with a pig roast on Friday morning to kick it off, so at 11 a.m. until sold out. On Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we'll have a pig roast running all day long.
Wow.
And then that's kind of the big thing. We have our sip and shop market the following weekend, and that is where we donate to the vendors. Those are like our next big things coming up.
Will you guys be out at the Oktoberfest or no?
We will not this year.
So I did also want to get Tom give us an update. He had a big beer weekend with the Brewers of the Corn and Medina Passport.
Throw something in on that?
Yeah.
So I just want to say Ann and her team down at Red Wagon are phenomenal. They are amazing people. They make great beer. But on top of that, it is one of the coolest events in Ohio. I love Windows on the River, and I love when the OCBA puts on their event. That is phenomenal. But this is, where else can you drink beer in a cornfield other than Ohio? It is a very cool event. So if you have never gone, get tickets and go. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, so there was one just this past Friday. We actually went as guests, so we were not pouring, but got to experience the maze and only got lost 3 times.
Yeah.
How tall is the corn now?
10 to 12 feet.
Wow. Yeah, you can't see over
and
it.
it was hot. And there's no breeze in the cornfield. But again, a great event. There is another one coming up. I believe it is September 5th. And we will, Maria and I will be there serving for Medina Brewing, so we will be there for that one. Medina Brewing, we did go to the Medina Passport Party. It was this past Sunday out of Blue Heron. So they had the passport party for that event, which was nice. Again, great weather. They had inside, outside stuff going on with that.
So, I mean, I'm trying to think, like you were in the cornfield. Did you get rocked in the stocks? You know, I'm like wrecked on the deck. What else? What else could it be?
I can't think of what else to.
Anyways, whatever.
I mean, we did have. I did one of the brewers. I think might have been Smedley. My shirt. I had a Little King's cream ale shirt on, and there was another guy that was walking around with us who had a really nice shirt that was corn stalk, like a really silk shirt.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, Tom, I like your shirt, but his is better." I'm like, his is what it starts at. Mine's what it finishes at. The cream ale and corn stalk. So we're appropriately dressed for the event.
Definitely.
But yeah, I agree again. And it was the first one was a little bit slower. I think she said they had a little over 200 people. This last one I think was much closer to 300 or over 300. And we're really hoping that this final one will probably hit that number again, which last year it did. Last year it sold out. The last one was one of the busiest. So it is a great event. Get your tickets online. Go to Red Wagon. Look for Brewers of the Corn.
Yeah. So we got some beer events. I noticed. Hit AI draw this list up for me. Cleveland Garlic Festival listed as a beer event. They have some cooking demonstrations, garlic-infused craft beers, live music, and local vendors. So check that out. 23rd. What is that? This weekend. Oktoberfest, Cleveland, out the fairgrounds, Cuyahoga County. That's a big.
And that is 2 weekends. So they do Labor Day weekend, and now they do it also the following weekend. They do have some micro craft breweries there as well as all the good German beers.
Definitely.
It's a great event.
Thunder on the Strip, out in Geneva on the Lake. Bike rally, live entertainment, beer vendors. A lively, high-energy weekend, quote unquote. So get out there, check that out. The Lakewood Community Festival, September 6th, Lakewood Park. Family-friendly event with cultural foods, music, local beer options. And last but not least, well, this might interest Zach. The Ohio Wine and Beer Show, Food Truck Music Festival. Food trucks.
End of September, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 20 food trucks, live music, games. Yeah, sounds fun.
All right.
Thanks, AI.
What do we have coming up, Dave?
Well, we got a couple good things coming up and some other things we have to nail down. Next week, we're going to be with Michelle at the Wine Room and Tavern in Avon, another local place. And just as a side note, you guys got to let us know, how do you like us going to like these beer vendors, these dive bars, craft beer bars? Is that something you want to see more of or less of?
And again, I mean, it's the wine. We're going to keep the wine and beer theme going with that
sure.
week because they're a wine shop, but they have, I think it's close to 10 beers on tap as well. And they, I believe, try to keep a lot of Ohio beers. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I think they're leaning into beer a little bit more than they had in the past, as well as wine. And it's a tavern now, so you can go in and get served right there. The next week, the second, right after Labor Day, we're going to taking the week off. But the following week, the last time I posted something, I saw a page called
Kegs and
Metal. They commented, and I was like, it's interesting. I don't know what this is. I look at the page. It's a a craft beer heavy metal festival. It's like in Medina, somewhere out there. Sorry, Howard. But then Howard Ross emailed me. He was like, "It's his thing." And I was like, "I should have known, Howard. That's right up your alley." So he wants to do a show with the owner of Fairview Tavern, Robert Valor, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So we're going to do a show out there. They have like 10 craft beers on draft, and Howard has a big hand in picking those beers. So
we'll be there on the 9th.
On the 9th, yes. I don't know if the 16th is
we're
up
working
in the
on
air.
a couple things.
Okay.
We should be in studio. Might have a brewing duo hopefully in for that. And then the 23rd.
You know what? We could probably make that a trio. We could probably make that a trio. You know what I'm talking about.
And then the 23rd, we've did nail down. We're going to be talking with John Lane, who is a co-owner of Winking Lizard, and talk about their whole model and how they've kind of promoted the beer industry as well in the Northeast Ohio for the last 30 plus
100 years, yeah. So, and that's going to be at the Avon location too. So a lot of local shows for us.
So again, Zach, I want to thank you for hosting us out here. Get to try all these.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Let
it.
them know where you can find you guys, where you at, hours of operation.
Yeah, we're closed on Mondays, but other than that, we're open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. throughout the week, and on the weekends, 10 a.m. to midnight. Sundays, we have modified hours where we're open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then you can find us on all of our social medias.
Yeah.
Or here. We're always here, so.
They're always here if you want to see them.
BlabberMalt,
Back here.
find us on Facebook.
Yeah, blabbermalt@gmail.com. Give us an email, if we screwed up, you have any suggestions. The BlabberMalt Show, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Wherever you can get podcasts, we're there, probably.
And Dave, I'm going to say this, thanks for letting me be part of the show. It's been a nice adventure here.
It wouldn't be a show without you.
And we'll hopefully keep things going. And, we always say, stay
malty, Cleveland. This is the part of the show where I awkwardly get up and turn the camera off.
Nobody's here to help me.
The music's playing us out right now.
I was going to say something, and I was like, what? Also, I was not invited.